You're listening to the Public Health Epidemiology Careers Podcast, Episode 69.
Welcome to the Public Health Epidemiology Careers Podcast, where we explore public health epidemiology careers and share tips and strategies to help you enter or transition into the field. And now, your host, Dr. Charlotte Hughes Huntley.
Greetings, everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode. Today, I'm going to give you a few tips in preparation for the changes that will be taking place in the new year. Now, in episode number 66, I talked about reviewing progress, assessing where you are, and setting career goals for next year. Be sure to listen to that full episode if you haven't already. As I continue to move on and prepare for the new year, there are some exciting changes and shifts that will take place. And everything that I'm doing is really in response to the community feedback and actions. So there are a few things that you want to do to make sure that you don't miss out on anything that will be coming up. The first thing that you really want to make sure you're doing is simple. You want to subscribe to the podcast. If you haven't done this already, you want to make sure that you click subscribe and subscribe to the podcast. Not only will you automatically receive the latest episodes every week, but you'll also receive bonus episodes that I will start publishing from time to time in the new year. So these bonus episodes will provide a special tip or perhaps a special announcement, but they won't be mentioned on any other platform. So the bonus episodes they won't be mentioned anywhere else. The only way to benefit from the bonus content is to be a subscriber of the podcast. So when you click the subscribe button right now, or in iTunes, it's usually a purple button. It may look different depending on the platform that you're listening to. Just from wherever you're currently listening, go ahead and click subscribe or follow. If you need the links to iTunes or Spotify, perhaps you're listening on your computer right now, or any of the other platforms. If you want the links to the show so that you can subscribe, just visit drchuntley.com. So that's drchhuntley.com and select subscribing to the podcast from the main menu or from the home page. And then you'll have the direct links to the show in either iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, either of those platforms that we have the podcast is published to. You can subscribe and have all of the new episodes directly, just delivered to you automatically every time something comes new out, something new is published. And then also whenever those bonus episodes are released, you'll also have those delivered directly to your mobile device. All right. So the second thing that I really want you to do is make sure that you open the emails that you receive from me. Sometimes I send special invitations only through email. So if you don't open the email, you'll never know that you've been invited. For example, recently I met with a small group from my community to discuss their questions about the strategy program. I have a program developing your public health career strategy. Now, it wasn't a time for enrollment. It wasn't a full webinar like I do whenever there's an enrollment opportunity, but it was just a time where, for them to ask questions and for me to have an opportunity to provide answers. It was a lot of fun, actually. It was a really fun Q&A session, and everyone who attended actually told me that. So if you're not opening and scanning those emails that I send out, you could be missing out on an offer or an opportunity that you just might otherwise be interested in. You may have received an invitation, but just didn't open your email, and therefore you missed that opportunity to just join in with that, that Q&A session. So if you have not received any emails from me recently, check your spam folder. That's definitely a first place to check. And then also make sure that your settings are set so that you receive emails from me in your primary inbox. And if you're in doubt, you can always visit the contact tab from the website and subscribe to receive updates. So just be sure that you are subscribed to the podcast and that you're regularly opening and reading the emails that I send you so that you don't miss out on any important opportunities or announcements. Now, if you are in one of the podcast groups, either on LinkedIn or Facebook, we have a group on each of those platforms for the Public Health Epidemiology Careers podcast. If you're in one of those groups, then engage in the discussions around the podcast episodes. I mean, that was the purpose of having the podcast groups. So every episode that is published on Tuesdays is shared in the group. And occasionally we share older episodes in the groups as well. We bring back an older previously published episode. And, you can provide your thoughts, feedback on each of those episode posts and ideas about topics that are covered in a particular episode to generate a discussion within the community. Now, I check the groups from time to time and, to read the comments and engage in conversations around the podcast topics. And I've already started the conversation by producing the episode. So it's your turn to comment and generate a discussion. And occasionally I will pull the conversations from inside the groups to discuss on a future podcast episode. So your responses and conversations around one episode or the topic can lead to a new episode topic. So you may recall a few episodes, that I've done like that in the past where I've mentioned the topic or question coming from inside of one of our groups. So be sure you're engaging in the discussions there, listening to the podcast episode, and then engaging in discussions around those posts inside the group. That is the purpose of the group. All right. Now, as I wrap up this episode, remember to listen to episode number 66 if you haven't done so already. This is all geared toward getting everyone ready and lined up and excited about going into the new year. And I am very excited about all the changes that I have lined up and I have put into place, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be great. So this is to help you be ready for all of the changes that are going to happen too. They're not going to be necessarily dramatic changes, but they're definitely going to be some changes and some shifts into different, let's just say shifts. That's the best way. Just leave it there. So subscribe to the podcast so that you get new episodes delivered to your mobile device automatically every week, including the new bonus episodes that I will start sending from time to time in the new year. And also open and read your emails, the emails that you receive from me, so that you don't miss any special invitations, any announcements, or any special offers. Check your email settings and make sure that your spam folder, it's not showing up in your spam folder if you haven't received anything in a while, or just simply visit the contact tab from the main website and you can subscribe to receive updates. All right, everyone, until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you for listening to the Public Health Epidemiology Careers podcast at drchuntley.com.